Welcome to another round of the Twisted Metal Tournament. I'm acting extra creepy this time, because this is going to be our most grimdark episode yet, in which we will drive a hearse. Shadow is another car that made its debut in this game. Its driver is simply called Mortimer. He's been hired to get revenge on behalf of someone in the back of his hearse. And the manual makes it clear that it's Calypso he's getting revenge upon. We're going to honor the innocent victims of the tournament, and in order to do that, we have to win the tournament. So it's fortunate that the level we're going to is not going to have any random pedestrians that we can kill. Because that would just be ironic if we were racking up more innocent victims on our way to avenge innocent victims. But we're headed deep into the Amazon, which is somehow the site of an active volcano. I don't know, it's the lava level. That's all that really matters. We'll have to navigate these ruined temples in order to avoid the minuscule, insignificant chip damage that driving through the lava would inflict. This level is not nearly as threatening as it appears. In fact, the scariest thing here is Shadow. After playing as Grasshopper, really feels like I've been training with weights on. Now that I'm playing an actually good vehicle, I am just ripping people apart. Shadow's special is amazing, and this level is unbelievably well suited to taking full advantage of the special. Didn't even plan it out that way, but I had a real good time playing this one. The special is a scary ghost that crawls along the floor, and when you hit the fire button again while the ghost is deployed, it explodes. Takes out everything in that area. And it does more damage based on how close the enemy is to the explosion. Similar to Axel's special in that way, and I think they severely overestimated how difficult it would be to get bullseyes with these kinds of specials. Direct hits will do at least a third of an enemy's health, and even enemies on the distant outskirts of the gigantic blast radius will get pretty badly messed up. You can easily hit a bunch of people, including yourself. It's one of the few attacks that can hit the person who fires it. Seems like that's the best I could do to balance it, but you could just activate your shield first, and then fire it with impunity. Like so. We can also use the shape of this level to our advantage. The slopes at the sides of all the platforms means we could just get slightly below ground level, dodge Sweet Tooth special, which cannot track vertically, but our special doesn't care about the shape of the terrain. We can fire it from relative safety if we need to, or try and catch enemies as they're making turns and avoiding the lava. Everything about this area is shaped to our benefit. And in a pinch, we can even destroy one of the statues. That'll allow us to get underneath the lava in this little tunnel, which has our full health pickup for the area. Destructibles are limited here, but unlike in the previous 3 levels, we can't destroy anything that will then make the level harder for us. The first level had the bridge that we could destroy and no longer get the full health. Then we had the ability to destroy everything in Moscow. And the Eiffel Tower is a mixed blessing, but mostly negative. Here, it's all benefits. Not too much to destroy overall, though. Couple more things that I could take out, and I'll get to them soon. Amazonia is a bit lacking in variety. Most of the time you're just going to end up on one of the 4 larger platforms and duking it out with whoever ends up over there because they avoid the lava, but Hammerhead isn't avoiding the lava, and there's no way I'm letting it back on dry land now. He blew himself up. Good riddance. Twister seems to be having a hard time navigating where the statue used to be, which is a lethal mistake. Being one of the extremely fast vehicles like Twister here is much to your detriment, because when you hit these ramps at the sides of the platforms, you just go flying back into the lava. It's really hard to stay on the platforms. The door to this temple here is one of the few destructibles. It's got weird flashing LEDs on the walls that you can destroy for more pickups. And a little statue of Sweet Tooth's head hanging off the ceiling like a uvula. I'd kind of like to know more about the cult of Amazonian Sweet Tooth worshippers that live inside a volcano. But it seems like that small hint is all we're going to get to know. Every time we break one of these LEDs, we get a new pickup. Nothing too great, but it's one of the few health drops that you can get here. And also you could sit in there and cheese the hell out of the enemies, because they don't know how to get in. They'll just drive back and forth across the entrance, fire out your unbelievably powerful special, and destroy everybody. I had to stop doing that and play kind of fair with Axel, so I'm starting to feel bad about how I've killed everybody without losing a life so far. But I'm supposed to be like an avenging revenant, taking down the Twisted Metal tournament from inside, so it sort of delivers that feeling. It's pretty great. And we're almost done, just gotta finish off Thumper. Been battling him for a long time. He's given up on life and is just wandering through the lava now. And we're rid of him. Job well done. Just kidding, our job's not done yet. Last year's boss rises from the lava. I must win. Calypso and I have a score to settle, he yells, as he comes after you with a vengeance. I love that they refer to Minion in the video gamey terms of last year's boss, which of course means that he should be dead, but there are other survivors from last year, so not gonna hold to that one. He does want the same thing as Shadow, which is revenge on Calypso, so maybe the right thing to do would just be to leave. But then again, he's been downgraded to a mid-boss, so maybe he's really weak now. Shadow's unstoppable, so we probably should just take care of this ourselves. Lost about a second of footage there to corruption somehow. It was just me lining up to get on top of the temple though, and I didn't even grab the homing missiles before I fell off. Not that homing missiles would do me much good, because now we're gonna make contact with Minion, drop a remote bomb right on top of him, and set it off for about a quarter of his health bar. Then he gets to start hitting me with his special. If his entire special hits you, you freeze, in addition to taking a ton of damage. And the idea is he can then hit you with another special, freeze you again, over and over, and then you die. Minion is not to be underestimated. Here I picked a really awkward time to show off the invisibility energy move, which is useless. Just makes it so that you can't see your car. The CPU obviously still can, and homing missiles and stuff will still hit you. So why bother? Just showing off that there's a ton of stuff you can do with the energy bar that I haven't shown off yet, so I'll make a point to work on that when I am not about to be killed by Minion. Recharge my health a little bit. Minion doesn't care about lava. He's either immune or has such high armor that it simply doesn't matter that he takes a little tiny bit of damage every couple of seconds. But here, he does try to stay on the path, which is of course exactly what we want him to do in order to use our special to its fullest ability. I didn't really do that there. Instead I got obliterated by his special. It's very similar to that of Warthog, which is a weird precedent that they're setting for the series. Warthog fires 3 missiles in a triangle shape. His are red, white, and blue because he's a military Humvee. Minions are otherwise identical, but they do a ton more damage, and they come with that freeze shot so that he can chain them. It's technically toned down from the first game where he would just spam every special in the game all at once, but it's still dramatically more powerful than anything any car can do. So don't get in front of Minion. He'll kill ya. Doesn't matter what car you're playing as. Now, when he spawned, it completely reset everything in the level, all the pickups, all the destructibles, everything, except for Shadow's life count. So because we didn't die at all on the first part of the level, it was as though we started a completely fresh level as soon as Minion showed up. And I'm still having a hard time. Minion is that dangerous. So I gotta go for the full health, because at this life level I could be one-shot by that special. And Minion came in after me, so I'm in a bit of a horror movie. But I got the door open just in time. Now I can wait on the other side with all of my armaments. Then I sort of thought better of it. Like I said, you don't want to face him head on. So I'm coming around the side, trying to get him with a shielded special. And that ghost is so powerful it did manage to kill him. Now I'm a winner. Nope, wait, I'm a loser, it turns out. This is the screen you get if you beat Minion on easy difficulty. Which, I hate when games do this. Just don't gate your content based on difficulty like that. Good thing the PS1 was really the waning days of this practice. This one is particularly rude though. They don't even give you the password to go on to the next level on medium difficulty if you want to keep playing the game. Gotta redo this whole level on medium or better. Just for the record, I recorded that screen separately and spliced it in to show it off. We have indeed been victorious, and even though Minion is just the mid-boss, we're gonna go claim our prize.
High atop the skyscrapers of New York, Mortimer pushed his car to the limit. It had been a long, deadly fight, and he was tired. Soon, he would retire into the depths for a long day's sleep, but for now, he had a mission to complete. He met with me, the creator of Twisted Metal. Mortimer, any prize you request is yours.
I am not here for a prize, Calypso. It is I who have a gift for you.
A gift? For me? Let me see it. It was a trap. My fate had been sealed.
These are the souls of the people who have died in your contest. The poor men and women who are simply walking the streets of the world when your Twisted Metal competitors ran them down. They've hired me to take revenge on you.
Within seconds, the souls of the dead had carried me away. Some say they dropped me in the busy streets of New York. Others think I'm still being carried on the night winds. Only one man knows the truth, and that man is me. I am Calypso! And I thank you for playing Twisted Metal!
Mortimer turned Calypso into someone's terror at 20,000 feet. Not that Calypso seemed to mind all that much. Maybe we should have just let Minion get revenge his way. And in fact, that's exactly what I'm gonna do right now. By pressing L1 up, down, left, we unlock the ability to play as Minion, seated right next to Shadow. And Minion has to go through the entire tournament, just like anyone else. But it's not exactly gonna be that difficult with those stats. He doesn't know how we found him, and rightfully so, the code to unlock him does not appear anywhere in the game. But he assumes we share his mission because we are now one. We're gonna go take down Calypso for stealing our power. I'm gonna run him through the Moscow level, because it's the shortest in the game, just to show him off. And I happen to get the single worst enemy grouping I could possibly get. Sweet Tooth, Twister, and Axel are the three that I mentioned will make this level a living hell. Unless, of course, you're playing as Minion, and you're ridiculously overpowered and can kill Sweet Tooth before he can even do anything. Funny enough, one of the billboards here says Sweet Tooth rules the world, but clearly that is provably false. So while I'm back here, before I destroy everything that moves, I'm gonna destroy something that doesn't move because I failed to last time. the generator in the center. Don't need those pickups, so blow it up. And I also noticed that it destroys all the stadium lighting around the arena. So that's a neat touch. Totally pointless, but I appreciate it. Now let's finish off the bloodbath. Hammerhead's only notable here because he has enough health to survive more than a second. But he was trying to use his special on me there. His special is to roll over enemies like a monster truck, of course. Minion is so big, he's actually immune to that special. Hammerhead cannot get over him, so he can't do that extra damage that driving over enemies does. Just another minor way that Minion is better than everybody. Could have had this level completed by now. There's plenty of videos up on YouTube of people beating this level in under a minute with Minion. But I just wanted to show off a one-take, unpracticed run of this level, just to show off what Minion can do. And we get a rare look at how Minion looks when he's really beaten up. The 3 guns at the front of the tank, they get all bent out of shape. And the back end gets kinda scuffed and bent up as well. Just gotta get this final enemy taken care of. Of course it's Axel, who's the worst enemy to see here. Gotta wait for my special to respawn. There it is. But I didn't fire it in time because Axel's special just gets spammed in my face. Minion does suffer the same stipulations as Sweet Tooth, having to complete the entire campaign with 3 lives and no passwords. He does get to skip the Minion boss fight though, which is good attention to detail. Even still, I would scrap this run after that death. But for me, it is over. It's all I care to show. Now let's watch Calypso suffer for his actions again. That guy's taking a real beating today.
Calypso, you are coming with me.
Minion, it's so good to see you again. Surely we can work out a deal?
You stole my powers, Calypso, 11 years ago, stripping me of my birthright. Now it is time to pay the price.
No, please, Minion. It's scary down there.
Let's go, little Calypso, man.
I want to raise my gun.
Time to rot in hell with your little sister.
Certainly a much more effective form of vengeance. To hell with him. But that line about Calypso's little sister, that brings into canon something that I really wish they hadn't. You see, before this game came out, Sony commissioned DC Comics to create 100 copies of a Twisted Metal prequel comic book. They were to be distributed to winners of a contest, but only 50 people won. Some of the remaining 50 issues might have found a home, but many of them were probably destroyed. This makes those comics the ultimate collector's item. The few that remain are priceless, but only because of the rarity, not at all for the quality of the content. The comic tells the origins of Calypso, and it turns out his story is the edgiest, grimmest thing in the Twisted Metal series until Black. In my opinion, it goes way, way too far to make Calypso, who is basically a Vincent Price impression, into a character filled with pathos and tragedy. It's frankly embarrassing, and also really gross and unpleasant. But you can read it yourself if you don't trust my warnings. I'll be providing a link to that in lieu of a different character's ending this time. But I would recommend checking out the video description for a full content warning before you click that link.